Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the Chiefs' big game celebration turned deadly yesterday after a gunman opened fire, killing at least one person and wounding 22 others. We'll tell you who police have in custody this morning as they search for a motive. Across the crossroads, 4 people forced their way into a Victoria home on Tuesday and assaulted 3 people. What authorities say happened after that break-in that left 2 people in the hospital. And continuing coverage in Victoria, authorities say drunk driving caused this crash near Del Mar Tuesday afternoon. We'll tell you who authorities transported to the hospital and who they transported to the county jail.
And we're thinking we might have some showers coming our way, possibly even as early today, but lots coming our way tomorrow. We'll take a look at that weather coming up.
We have some area teams doing things that they have not done in about 20 years. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today is the 15th day of February 2024. The time is now 6:30 on our Thursday morning and it's National Wisconsin Day.
Wisconsin Day. Have you ever been to Wisconsin?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of family roots there. Actually, my dad and his siblings moved to Wisconsin in the 70s during the construction boom. And my dad actually went to high school in Horlick, Wisconsin, Horlick High.
Wow.
And he got a scholarship to go to the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh campus.
Wow, look at that.
So,
yeah, Strain family putting in some work. That is awesome right there.
Yes, I even have a niece named Veronica. I need to go meet her. She lives there in Madison with my older sister.
Interesting. I've never been that far north.
Oh, it's beautiful. Wisconsin is like
imagine.
a symphony of trees, Parker. It's gorgeous.
I can imagine it's beautiful up there, but what else is beautiful, Carolina, is out there this morning. We are much, much better out there than what we've had for the rest of this week. In fact, if you're all tuning in with us right now, you're looking at a live look in Victoria, where, like we're just saying, much, much nicer than the 40s and the low 50s we've had all week. Right now, we're in the upper 50s, about 58 degrees here in the Crossroads, but with the dew point just 3 degrees off that temperature. Got a 90% humidity, and it's actually very humid for all of us out there this morning, but not enough for fog. Originally, I was thinking we might see really, really light fog, but that is clearly not the case, as all of us, except for Refugio, y'all are 96, all of us are below that threshold for fog, so not expecting any fog out there this morning. Just very, very humid. But for the rest of this week into this weekend, looking at your weather headlines, isolated showers are possible starting even as early as today, but those showers are definitely going to pick up going into tomorrow because we're going to have a very disgusting rainy day coming our way tomorrow. But that's all going to come ahead of a cold front coming on Saturday morning, which we're going to drop to near freezing temperatures in some areas on Sunday morning. We'll take a look at that in just a second because, like I said, looking at your future tracker here for today. Now, the computer says that there might be a couple spotty showers out there this morning. I'm not really buying that, but going into this afternoon, I'll definitely buy this. We might see 1, 2, or 3 real light showers, maybe even some drizzle this afternoon before it really picks up going into tomorrow, where you can see here the entire day it'll probably be raining. Where today we probably get up to maybe 1/10 of an inch if we see some showers, but tomorrow 1.5 inches possible in some areas tomorrow. But for the rest of this weekend, like I said, we'll take a look at that cold front that's coming our way on Saturday in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Now to our top story across the nation. A fatal shooting broke out during the Kansas City Chiefs' big game celebration. Authorities say at least one person is dead and upwards of 22 others were shot when gunfire erupted west of Union Station near a parking garage. A spokesperson at University Health Hospital says several people are hospitalized, with 8 immediately life-threatening patients, 7 with the life-threatening injuries, and 6 that were at minor injuries. So far, 3 armed people are detained for further investigation. We'll go to Washington for the latest later on Sunrise. And we do have an Amber Alert for you this morning. It's a child abduction case out of Waxahachie, and the victim is a 12-year-old teen named Tanya Jackson, who was last seen wearing clothing. They're not sure what kind of clothing, but if you have any information on her abduction, call 911 if you have information. VPD says a fight broke out at a home on Sam Houston Drive Tuesday night. They arrived to the home to find 2 victims suffering from non-life-threatening injuries. Police say 3 adults and a child were reportedly forced They reportedly forced their way into the home and assaulted 3 people. Police have identified the assailants as 21-year-old George Flores, 19-year-old Karen Lozano, and 42-year-old Terry Sanchez. They each face charges of burglary of a habitation, reckless bodily injury, and engaging in organized criminal activity. They're in the Victoria County Jail with a bond set at $40,000 each. Investigators have deemed this situation an isolated incident. You're looking at the aftermath of a crash caused by a drunk driver. The crash happened near Del Mar Tuesday afternoon at around 3:30. BPD says 38-year-old Andrew Rojas hit another vehicle while driving under the influence. We don't know the extent of the injury sustained in the crash, but first responders took the driver of the other vehicle to the hospital out of precaution. Authorities took Rojas into custody at the scene. He's the driver of the truck that we saw crashed into that tree near Del Mar and North Street. At last check, Rojas remained at the county jail with a bond set at $5,000. A verdict in the $370 million civil fraud case against former President Donald Trump is expected by the end of the week. The highly anticipated ruling will cap a trial that started October 2nd and included testimony from the former president and his 3 oldest children. Closing arguments in the case, in which its State Attorney General Letitia James's office claimed Trump and top leaders committed persistent fraud by inflating financial statements, took place January 11th. Judge Ongoran has already found that Trump and his executives engaged in fraud. He now needs to decide on the issue of intent and what penalties Trump and his company should pay. Thousands of rideshare drivers across the country prepare to go on strike on Valentine's Day, disputing over pay and working conditions. Independent union Rideshare Drivers United said that Lyft and Uber drivers will turn off their apps to protest the significant decrease in pay they have felt this winter. Riders for DoorDash will also be joining in on the strike. They say they're sick of working extended hours per week just to make ends meet. Campaign group Justice for App Workers, which represents 130,000 drivers and delivery workers across the East Coast and Midwest, says its members plan to stop giving rides to and from all airports in 10 cities for 2 hours on Wednesday. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you use rideshare apps? Okay, let's take a look. 23% of you say yes, you do, and 77% of you say no, you don't. You don't really see too many of them at all hours of the day here in Victoria, so I get it. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. The Wilkins Alumni Incorporated will be celebrating Black History Month on February 24th, providing an afternoon of music, poetry, and theater at the Main Street Theater. Plus, the Veterans Land Board is encouraging people to spread the love to veterans in their yearly Valentine's for Veterans program. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. We continue to meet candidates part of the March 5th primary election.
In Washington, a mass shooting at the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City leaves 1 person dead and others fighting for their lives. The latest in this investigation coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast, and later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that rain that's coming our way for today and tomorrow.
A serious challenge prowls many streets across Victoria County. Roaming and stray animals pose a risk to the community, and finding their owners often impossible.
The animals that don't have a voice, that's what we're there for, to help.
So what's being done to ensure the safety of our streets and these lost or abandoned pets? Join me, reporter Lupi Zapata, for Safe Streets, Safe Pets, a 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, you're looking at a live look at Cuero. A very beautiful live look that is, because look, as that sun's starting to come up, you got a nice, pretty blue and kind of purpley sky out there. Very pretty, but also a very pretty morning out there in terms of temperature. Right now, about 59 degrees, much better than what we've had in the 40s and 50s, at least the low 50s this week. But dew point 3 degrees off, actually 4 degrees off that temperature. You got an 85% humidity, so it's a little bit humid out there. Definitely enough to see a little bit of dew on your windshield, but not enough for fog. You get that 95% or higher. But if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, it's going to be about 58, very humid as well. Cool and humid out there this morning, and warming up nicely again to the low 70s, about 72 this afternoon, with maybe even like 1 or 2 real light spotty showers possible this afternoon. And looking at weather and health forecast, the only thing to concern about is your tree pollen, because we had a lot of windy days earlier this week. Everything else, green lights. But for the rest of this weekend, we got that lots of rain coming our way. Going to be raining all day tomorrow until that cold front comes on Saturday morning. And we'll take a look at that and more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. History on the hardwood here in the Crossroads. Here's sports reporter Zach Brown.
We've had a lot of area teams do things they haven't done in years. Incredible turnarounds have put some of these teams in the playoffs. Starting out in Yoakum, the Bulldogs have their first winning season in 18 years and their first playoff appearance in 20 years, and they just finished second behind a tough Edna Cowboy team that was already favored to win the district. The Bulldogs won only 4 games last year and went 3-9 in district play. Well, they did a total 180 this year, and Yoakum alum turned coach Trevante Heights proud of the guys, but is not shocked.
I'm super proud of these guys. I mean, it's not too a surprise because these kids actually put in the work to get the results that they. It was a lot of yelling, a lot of extra practices, a lot of film watching, a lot of coming together towards the end of the season. But these dudes put the work in, and they bought in and they dedicated their time.
Their first playoff game will be against Marion, and it will take place in Weimar. Another program having a historic season for their basketball program, well, that's the Bloomington Bobcats. And for the first time in at least 2 decades, they have claims to a district title. However, they finished in a 3-way tie. So to decide the seedings, they flipped the coin. Schulenburg is going to be the first seed. Bloomington is second. Flatonia gets the 3rd seed. But what a turnaround over at the Bloom. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Gunfire erupting at the Kansas City Chiefs Big Game Parade, leaving 1 person dead and at least 21 others hurt, including 8 children, the youngest just 6 years old. Police have taken 3 people into custody, though they haven't released more details about the suspects.
Mass shooting shocking Kansas City, where the Chiefs' Super Bowl victory parade had just ended. Video showing the moment chaos and panic erupted, people running for cover.
Everybody started jumping the rails and pushing everybody over.
Dozens injured, several struck by gunfire. Police say 1 person was killed, identified as Lisa Lopez Galvin, a mother of 2 and a DJ at a local radio station.
I'm angry at what happened today. The people who came to this celebration should expect a safe environment.
Most of the Chiefs football team had exited the stage in front of Union Station and concluded the rally, though thousands of fans were still out in crowds when shots rang out.
All of a sudden it sounded like fireworks, and we're like, oh, okay. And then my daughter yelled, get down, get down.
Multiple people, including Paul Contreras, were seen here tackling and punching 1 man believed to be a suspect.
No, we tackled him.
We tackled him. Yeah.
When we tackled him, the gun came out.
Kansas City police confirmed multiple people were taken into custody. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes posting on social media he's praying for Kansas City, and tight end Travis Kelce saying he's heartbroken. The White House says it's in contact with officials on the ground and will keep a close eye on developments. President Joe Biden again urging Congress to pass gun control, saying the events should move us, shock us, shame us into action. According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been at least 49 mass shootings in America this year alone. The president saying concerned Americans need to make their voices heard. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Former Victoria ISD board member Brett Baldwin wants to serve as state senate, or rather a state representative for the Texas House for District 30. Baldwin is a development consultant. He says school vouchers are the wrong way to go. Baldwin also does not have the big name endorsements that some of his rivals have.
A lot of those endorsement evaluations or decisions were made before I even got into the race. And so I understand that that's going to be the situation. I also understand that I'm going to be behind, and as my coach from in high school, Coach Zoe Simpson or Alan Waddell would tell me, we play like you're behind. I don't care if you're up 70-0, you get after it and you compete, and that's what I'm planning to do.
Tomorrow we'll have District 30 Republican candidate Jeff Bauchnite on live. The Republican primary winner will face Democrat Stephanie Bassam in the November election. She's running unopposed in the Democratic primary election. So far, 4 people have filed to run for City Council in Victoria. Residents can run for any of the 4 regular City Council seats in District 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 candidates have filed, 1 for each position. Rafael de la Garza III is seeking re-election in District 1. Jan Scott is seeking re-election in District 4. Attorney Stephen Kidder has filed to run in District 2. Business owner April Butler has filed to run in District 3. And the deadline to file for a place on the ballot is 5 p.m. tomorrow, February 16th, and the election is Saturday, May 4th. And here's a look at some of the top headlines you'll find in the Queer Record. The Queer Record held a DeWitt County Candidate Forum, and DeWitt County hopes to qualify for the Rural Law Enforcement Grant Program. Read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com. The time is now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Still to come, the FDA has approved the first treatment for severe frostbite. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Caleb. May you have a wonderful, blessed day. We love you.
Aw, and wishing TJ a very happy 8th birthday. Continue to do great things and keep making us proud. We love you so much. From Dad, Mama, Cookie, Uncle Bob, and Mama and Papa Perez.
And today, Megan Thee Stallion is a little extra savage. It's her birthday. She's 29. Happy birthday, Megan.
Happy birthday, Megan. And to see your birthday wish live on Crossroads Today, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More, and under home you see KVU to submit your birthday.
And the time is now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
Yes, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, folks. We are still expecting that cold front to come our way this weekend on Saturday, and that actually leads us to today's weather poll. Today's weather poll asks, do you think that we will drop to freezing on Sunday morning? Because some local areas could see freezing temperatures. Take a look what y'all saying. About 33% of y'all, about a third of y'all say yes, you do. About 20% of y'all, about a fifth of y'all say no, you do not. 41% of y'all say, I hope not. I'm right there with y'all. Might as well make it 42% because I don't like the cold either. I don't like the freezing cold. And 60% of y'all say, yeah, I hope so. Some of y'all, I know some of y'all do like that cold. But to vote on today's weather poll, go to crossroadstoday.com/vote-weather to participate and see what everybody else says as well. Now, like I was saying here, we're going to take a look at what's going on here. Got the high pressure currently still out there. Let me get out of the way here, all the way out there on the East Coast, which is still going to keep us in the southerly flow for the rest of this, actually for the rest of today, which is going to keep all of that moisture and all of that warm air off the Gulf right back into our area, which is going to give us a good shot at lots of showers for all day tomorrow. But then this low pressure system coming out of the Rockies is going to develop a cold front. It's going to swing that cold front all the way down here to the crossroads by Saturday morning, and high pressure up there north with the low pressure, really weak one down there in the Gulf, is going to give us a little bit more reinforcement for that cold air. But then high pressure pushes right back out into the Gulf, warming us up to the 70s and the 80s next week. Going to be a very, very nice warm week next week. In fact, you can see that cold front coming out of the north by Saturday morning before it warms up nicely next week. But we'll take a look at all that and more in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The FDA has approved the first treatment for severe frostbite. The treatment is Iloprost injection, marketed under the brand name Arlumin. The agency says it can reduce the risk of finger or toe amputation. Frostbite happens when the skin and underlying tissues freeze, which limits blood flow to the area. Severe frostbite can lead to permanent damage and requires amputation. The drug's active ingredient is Iloprost, which is a vasodilator that opens blood vessels and prevents blood clotting. It can be used up to 3 days after injury. There are common side effects, including headache, fast heart rate, nausea, dizziness, and low blood pressure. Iloprost is used in some other countries to treat severe frostbite. In Florida, someone missed the deadline to miss their $36 million Mega Millions lottery ticket, and as a result, the winner has forfeited the winnings. They had 180 days after the drawing to claim the prize money, but missed the deadline on Sunday. The winning ticket was sold in Jacksonville in August. Florida law says 80% of the unclaimed money will now go to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund, and the remaining funds will be held for the prize pool. The next Mega Millions drawing is tomorrow for a $457 million jackpot. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. 1-year-old Noah Johnson is still missing. An Amber Alert is still active out of Houston. The victim is 1-year-old Noah Johnson. He was last seen wearing a blue shirt and flower print pants. The suspect is 38-year-old Camila Johnson. The suspect is driving a white 2007 GMC Yukon with a license plate number STM7097. Call 911 if you have any information. U.S. Representative for District 27 Michael Cloud voted to impeach Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Congressman Cloud said yesterday in a statement, quote, "We should be willing to use every tool at our disposal to end this border disaster. And I look forward to working with my colleagues to do just that," end quote. Representative Jim Clyburn announced on Wednesday he would be stepping down from his Democratic leadership position in the House. He served as Assistant House Democratic Leader for just over a year. The 83-year-old lawmaker previously served as the House Majority Whip alongside former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and former House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, who also relinquished their leadership roles. Representative Joe Nagis of Colorado will run for Clyburn's leadership post. Clyburn says he plans to run for re-election in South Carolina's 6th congressional district. The Louise ISD called for a meeting for Friday. The El Campo Leader News reports it's a closed session planned for superintendent resignation. Louise ISD Superintendent Garth Oliver says he was fired. Oliver said Louise ISD Board President Mark Bain and a trustee came to his office 2 weeks ago and told him he was fired. Oliver said he was told his last day would be tomorrow. Yoakum ISD board members voted this week to accept chaplains as volunteers on their campuses. The Yoakum Herald-Times reports the measure takes effect March 1st. This is in response to a new law passed by the Texas legislature. School districts must first vote on whether they will allow chaplains to serve in that role. Japan slips to the world's 4th largest economy behind the U.S., China, and now Germany. Read this story by the Associated Press on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And Parker, it's looking a little dreary out there. What's the dealio?
Well, I can tell you what the dealio is. She's laughing at me over there because she had a little funny comment come out there. But right now, Carolina, yes, you are very correct. Look at how cloudy it is out there, right there in Port Lavaca. But all of us are actually seeing that kind of cloudy conditions this morning, and actually that cloudiness is what's keeping us much nicer and warmer out there this morning. About 63 out there in Port Lavaca this morning, and also quite humid with that humidity about 89%. Not expecting fog, but that humidity is actually what's going to drive up some rain chances for today. Looking at your future tracker here, the computer says there might be a couple showers out there this morning, but I'm not really buying that because this afternoon might have a much better shot at seeing maybe 1, 2, or 3 real light showers, maybe even some drizzle this afternoon. But going into tonight and into tomorrow, it is going to be raining all day long tomorrow. At least that's what I'm thinking, and which will finally cut off by Saturday morning when that front comes through, because we got a cold front coming through on Saturday morning. But looking at your rain totals for today, maybe about 1/10 of an inch if we do see some of those showers. But coming tomorrow, after all that rain, we will probably see about 1.5 inches of rain. But with all that rain coming our way tomorrow, only going to get up to about 67 before that front comes on Saturday. But we'll be near freezing Sunday morning and then heating up next week.
All right, Parker, thank you so much. Sounds like today is the day for that outdoor workout or bike ride because it's going to be kind of yucky the next couple days.
Or next week, too.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. Be sure to have a great of your Thursday.